I think so we can start now.
Okay. All right. Not a lot of people, so maybe we can get started. I don't have any presentations or any materials as such prepared for this. So I'll start by asking, did anyone try doing the problem? Mhm. Okay, I am going to take that as a no, because this particular session was set up, well, meant to be a session where folks have already tried at least, and most of the things that was asked for folks to do was already covered in the last meeting. So maybe I can get started from there. Okay. All right. So Satyam, you'll have to give me at least co-host so that I can share.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So I'll start sharing my screen. Before that, let me adjust my resolution so that it's easily visible for you folks. Keep changes. All right. My screen should be visible to you guys now. Okay, so did anyone at least open and see what the file was? If you guys haven't, I would recommend open your files right now, because whatever we are going to do on the new data set today. Once you guys have opened it up, give me a thumbs up or write it in the chat so that I can know, and we can go ahead and get started with the session. All right. Have seen one. Okay, and let's see. After you guys have opened it up, we can begin. Done. Make my eyes open. I believe Arslan is opening it. I'll give it a couple more seconds for folks to open the respective files, and then we can get started. All right. I believe that is enough time for opening the files. So what I'll do actually is go here. I'm going back to the file that I sent you guys yesterday. So this was what you made, right? So couple of questions here which were posed was just to add a dynamic dashboard to compare wells, right? So those would be these dashboards, so well and their respective parameters. So first dashboard would be this. So if you guys haven't done this, I'll be making some of it, not all of it, because we have a couple more things to take care of. But you haven't, I would recommend go through this file again. And the next one was dynamic time selector, and okay, all right, just a second. Enable content here. There you go. And all right, so maybe I'll not be able to use it today, but all right. So a dynamic time selector that we have already made here, and a parameter and a well changer, along with a bubble chart. So what we're going to do today is sort of remake a couple of these charts, not all of them, but what we'll focus on today is trying to do a trend analysis. So uh, since um, since yesterday's sort of audiences did not have a lot of folks who were in their final years and pre-final years, a lot of them were in. A lot of you guys are in first and second year, so maybe we'll not do a decline curve analysis. We'll just do a simple trend analysis. A decline curve would be done similarly, but we'll just use an exponential curve along with some decline curve, I should say, um, equations and such. But for today, we'll just focus on trend analysis, and we'll do a simple linear regression to get what we want. All right. With that, if you guys have your files open, let's have a look at it. So I'll also open the file. Let's say, all right. So first, if you open the file, okay, maybe one of my files is already open. Okay, right, I'll close this and open it again. So does anyone want to take a guess? What do we need to do first before we do anything else? Any guesses? Okay, I see one in chat. Clean the data. Yep. So which column do you think we should clean? Is there clean required, or is this good enough? Because this is better than the data that we were working on before, right? So I think first thing I would ask is, do you guys remember what the nomenclature, or what was the normal stuff for a value versus a text? Where did your values sort of align to automatically? Was it on the right? Was it on the left? If you guys remember the question from Kahoot. So if I have a if I have a value versus a text, they're aligned separately, right? Yep, value on the right. Perfect. So can you guys sort of point out an issue in one of these columns which might hurt us later on? Yep, I have received an input, and Deepak says date, and Arslan says date as well. Yeah, yes, you're absolutely right. So for some reason, date is not considered as date here, right? It's considered as a text for some reason. So one thing, if you guys remember from the start, is we'll sort of, I'll just insert a column here. So you guys also insert a column. And what we are going to do is go to data and use text to columns to parse the data, right? Because I see if I remove the rest of these stuff here, I'm pretty sure I can get the Excel to recognize that this is a date. Although it's not a daily data, it's a monthly data, but it still will recognize it as a date. So right now, what do you think I should select so that I can separate my date from these zeros that I have here? Anyone wants to take a guess? And by the way, if you guys are on the screen, you can click on various other stuff and it actually automatically shows what will happen to the columns here. Yep, I have received 2 inputs and those are spaces, and those are absolutely correct. So I'll just click on space, just for fun, try to click on others and see what happens, right? So if you can also add your own delimiters, and those will give you separate inputs, right? So if I click on space, this is what it gives me, and this is what I want essentially. So I'll go ahead and click on finish, and now do you see, right? Now our dates are aligned on the right, and this is aligned on the left. So again, this is being considered as text. So I am not really sure why. So I'll delete this. Now my date is a date value, right? So before I go any further, one thing I'll have you guys notice is this file is directly open from the source file, right? So this is saved as a CSV. So any formulas or any macros that you write here will not be saved. So what I'll ask you guys to do is go to file, go to save as, whatever folder you are saving your file into, and go here and save it as Excel macro enabled workbook, XLSM, right? Let's do that. Once that is saved, you will see that the extension has changed. And yeah, now whatever operations we do will essentially be saved. Okay, so a couple of things we need to do first. But before I go there, I see a lot of people joined in late. If you guys have missed out on anything, if you are sort of feeling left behind, feel free to let me know and we can sort of go over what we have done until now. For the time being, what I'll do next is I see that this particular column has two pieces of information, right? It tells which field the well belongs to and also the well name. We have a well ID, but uh, again, these well IDs are hard to remember, so I would rather use the well names that are here, right? So what I'm going to do here next is, again, I'll go into data, text to columns, delimited. Anyone wants to take a guess what we'll use next to separate these two? Okay, colon. Yep, that is the correct answer. So you will see there's no option for selecting a colon. So go to other and type in a colon, and that will take it. And then press finish. And then I'll change the headers. Right. So this is what you'll have. So now we have a field name separately. We have well name separately, well ID and well name, date, all of these. So first step is done. Our data is cleaned. Anyone wants to sort of take another guess on what we need to do next? Again, the next step is sort of optional, but I believe I've showed you guys what to do next. What I usually do, just to make sure that all of my references are in one place. Yep, UID. Yeah. Yep, we will create a UID. Okay, so let's actually create a UID for now. So let's go create a UID before well and date. That's a good point. So concatenation or concat, whatever you guys are comfortable with. Take text 1, take text 2, and date. So we're concatenating our well name with the date so that for each, against each well, against each date, again against each well for against each date for each well, we have a unique number or a unique ID. So with that, this one's done. This is good, but what I was referring to is to create a metadata or a reference sheet. You can also call it a reference sheet. And what we'll do there is take a well and just create a reference quickly. All right, and I'll remove duplicates. Data contains headers. So this is how you remove your duplicates, right? So go on your data. Go. Usually you are on home. After you select it, go to your data, select remove duplicates. And that is how you will end up with a proper row. And then I'll sort it from A to Z just to make sure that I have it properly. Okay, I'll just select these and sort A to Z. All right. Next, what I'll do is, okay, I also have X and Y's. If people want to use that for bubble plots, we'll take that. XY, well ID. So first things first, let's sort of refer back to our well IDs. And for that, what I'll do is, if you guys remember, if our lookup value is not on the first column of our lookup array, we'll not be able to look up the data. So for now, well is our lookup value in that particular sheet, and if anything before that, we'll not be able to pull via vlookup, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to use index match. So our array from where we need to pull data is right here, because I need to pull data from only one column right now. So I'm only selecting one column. Next is I need to select row, right? So for row, I'll use the match function. I'll use the reference that I need to match. And then I'll give it a lookup array. And again, I need to only search on one column, one row. So I'll give it that. And I know there's only one column in the table, so there's no need to make it dynamic. And there you go. This is how you get your values. What did I do wrong? Okay, let's see. If anyone else is following, can you sort of confirm if you're getting different names, or did you also get same names as I did? Because sometimes that can be an issue, and I think I know why. There you go. So just make sure before applying an index match here, go ahead and select this entire thing, right? In home, go to sort and filter, and filter on well A to Z. That was the issue. That is why we were not getting it, because you have to make sure that the data that you're looking up values from is sorted. If it is not sorted, you will get wrong answers, as we were getting before. So as right now, we are getting the right answers. Okay. Now the next thing that we need to do is again write an index match, but this for this time we are just pulling data for two columns, X and Y. So these two will be our columns, all right? And our row again will be given by match. Lookup value will be our well name right here. Lookup array would be again this one, 0. And now for column, I know that if I drag my formula to the right, my column should change. And accordingly, my references or my column number should change, right? So what I'll do for that is I'll write another match. I'll go here. I'll match this. And I'm making sure that it only moves in columns and not in rows. Then my lookup array is these two columns, because that is the limit of our index. And I'll do this. I'll drag it to the right and drag it down. So there's something you can see, right? This is resulting in an NA. And why is that? That is because we haven't done this properly. So this reference should only move in row and not in column. So there you go. Now it's done. All right. Everyone is following? Just give me a thumbs up, or type something in the chat if you guys are still with me. Okay. Couple of folks are still with me. That's good to know. All right. So the next thing that we are going to do right now is, yeah, we need parameters again. Copy these. Perfect. Now, if you guys remember, does anyone want to take a guess what we need to do next according to this? So even for doing a trend analysis, we'll at least need one of these. Which one do you think we should make? Let me rename these as, okay, here be. Anyone wants to let us know? Okay, I have parameter selector. Yep, we will need a parameter selector for sure. But do we want a line chart, or do we want these, or do we want both of them to sort of do a proper trend analysis? Okay, so let me tell you what we'll do in trend analysis. For example, we're going to plot. I'll refer to the whole sheet here. What we are going to do is we're going to plot a Wells trend, and depending on, for say example, the last trend, we'll try to forecast after the data ends how much more production we can expect based on a cutoff. For example, if the cutoff is 100, All right. So after this, we won't be able to produce it anymore. So this is the additional volume which we can accept, right? So we are going to do a trend analysis like this on, say, all volumes for now. So what do you guys think? What will we need? Parameter selector line graph, bubble graph is needed. Perfect. Yep, we need a line graph. So let's make a line graph. I'm just making saying it as a dash. I will put a well selector here, and if you guys remember how to put a well selector, go here, select data validation, go to list, and we'll create a drag down using our references here. So that one's done. And for just for timing, we'll select B1, and then we'll see we'll select a parameter. All right, we'll go here, data validation, go to list, source, references. There you go. So now we have a parameter and a well. So now if you guys remember, we'll need to make a lookup sheet. So there are a couple of ways, right? So a lot of people like to make this and do a lookup here itself. The reason why I'm not sort of going down that route is it ends up sort of messing up a lot of stuff, because if you do all of your calculations here along with your lookup boxes, or I should say data validation boxes, what happens is you clutter the sheet a lot. And that is why I always make a lookup sheet which houses all the data, and a dash sheet which shows whatever data we need out of that lookup sheet, right? So before we do that, so firstly we link a cell to, say, a well, particular well, and then we'll need to link a cell to the parameter. Next thing that we'll need is state, right? So anyone wants to sort of take a guess on how we can get these dates there? Just keep in mind we'll have a lot of duplicates. Anyone? Okay, if not, so well, moving dates is easy. We'll just copy and paste the dates from our production data sheet to here, but we'll have to remove duplicates again, just to make sure that we don't have replication of dates. So you can see how many duplicates we had, right? So 61,062 duplicates. We only had 8,085 unique values. So next thing that we are going to do is select all of these, and then just to ensure that these are correctly sorted, go here, sort from oldest to newest. There you go. And I'll clear the filter. So your dates should start from 1981 and go till 2017. All right. That is how it should look. And next thing that we'll need is to do a quick Vlookup. Based on lookup value would be concatenate text1, text2, and this one needs to be confined. This one needs to be confined as well. And our table array actually will start from UID till right here, right? And column number again will have to be dynamic. So we'll use match. Our lookup value will be whatever we have here, and our lookup array will be from here to here. All right, I see a lot of errors. Let's take a look at why we have these errors. Anyone wants to take a guess why we are getting errors halfway and not for the entire way? Can there be a reason behind it, or is it just formula is written wrong? Okay, yep, we need to sort of work on error handling, and sort of remove all those errors. All right, dry well oil barrel. There you go. So just add a if error clause, and that will sort of smooth out the data for you. So this is what you have, and yep, one thing we still haven't done is we still haven't plotted the data and seen what it gives us. So I think it's time to do that. But before doing that, since this is the data from a real field in North Field, which sort of stopped production a while ago, and since we also need to do some forecasting, right? What I was going to do to ask you guys is to go here, select all the dates after 20, select all the dates after 1994. Okay, I see there's a comment. Just give me 1 second. So select all the dates before 1994. See if there is another. Yep, we are doing that. So select all the dates before 1994 and just delete rows for now. Oh my god. And then clear filter so that we have some places or some data that we can look up. All right, let's see why is this not giving me an error. Okay. '94. Don't need this for right now. Okay, perfect. Now might be a good time to go ahead, select your data and just insert a line chart to see how it looks. All right. Interesting. Just give me a quick second here. This one, this well is B1. All right. Can anyone confirm you are seeing these trends, or are you seeing the trend similar to what I have on the right? Picture. Left. Huh. Interesting. All right. Thanks for that, Arslan. I'll have a look on what is happening. Oh, I know what is happening. Okay. So go here. We'll have to do this again. Sorted by date, oldest to newest, and then sorted by well, oldest to newest. Or sorry, A to Z, and then it will fix itself. So you guys can see, right, how much influence your data set has when you're doing lookups and stuff. So even though you can look up certain stuff, it's always make sure that these are in correct order so that you're getting right values out. Okay, perfect. So this is our data that we need to sort of work upon for now. And if we go here, so before, maybe I should not do this. Quick second, just to make sure that we know which well we are looking at. Let's do this and say, like, let's add access titles equals this. Go here, go back to dash. Just make it slightly bigger for now. And then let's just cycle through the wells for once to see what we're getting. B2, nothing on B3W. Okay. B4, B4A, B5, B6, B7, B8, B9, and B10. Oh, there's no B10. All right. So yeah, this is also weird for some reason. Let me take a look at B9. Yep, if you have the macro, you can use the macro to cycle through the data. It's always good to reuse your macros. Okay. All right, this looks good enough for me, to me for now. And what we are going to do next is just add a simple trend line. So right click on your graph and add a trend line. And click on these two. Display equation and display R squared value on the chart. I'm pretty sure you guys might have done this before, but let me ask you one question. If I were to ask you to get this data out or use this equation to use a to make another graph, how would you guys do it? Any guesses, anyone?
So make two columns of X and Y, and then put this use this formula to and use different values of X starting from right from 0 to some other values.
Okay.
And then we can use the Y, which would
Okay. Yep. So yeah, for X values, can we use these? The values that we already have here. What do you think? Instead of making a new table altogether. So the answer is yes, we can use that if we don't want to create a new line. But this is one thing that I have not seen a lot of people use. So I'll sort of quickly show you how this works. So if you type linist, go to lookup and select all your Y values first, and then select all of your X values. Then say true twice. And after you close the brackets, press Ctrl Shift Enter or you won't get this. So make sure you press Ctrl Shift Enter. So once you've done, you can see certain things which are very interesting, right? So what you have here is you have your slope, you have your constant value that you get from right here, and you also have your R squared value, right? So if I were to use these values, and as Satyam was saying, right, use these values to say create a trend line, or I'll say curve fit for now. Oh my god. So what I'll do is equals to our slope into our, where is my lookup, X value plus our constant. So there you go. So right now it is coming in date, but I'll go here and change its format to general for now. And if I go here, move it back here for a second and drag this over. So we have made a trend line now, right? So now here's a question, right? So our data stops or truncates at 1994, and we want to say extrapolate till say the year 2000. So let's do that. For example, in lookup we know that, oh my god, these values don't have to be extrapolated to till 2000, but these have to. So I'll have to say, I'll just move it till 2000, and we'll not regret it here because we haven't stretched it far enough for now, but let's do that anyways. I stretched it too far, but we'll get it anyways. There you go. So I hope you guys are following, but this is how our trends look, right? But now here's a sort of a catch. From say your experience, you know that this will follow more of decline like this, and you don't like this decline at all. So you still don't want to go to decline, say a exponential decline, but you sort of want to adjust this up slightly. So does anyone has any idea how we can do that? So the new line that we have right here, data labels legend stop. Does anyone has any idea how we can move this? Come on, guys, take a guess. It's not that hard.
Sir, I think we have to change the
Constant or slope or both? So both of you have said constant, but what about slope? If you felt that this should fall slower, you will change the slope, right? So what would be the best way of adjusting the slope? Should I change this value straight away and then go to the next well and do the same for that? Or is there a better way that you can think of? Okay, so maybe not. So let me tell you how you can do this. So slope, just, so let's utilize something like this, and then let's make two factors, and these will be really simple, right? So these will be this into this. I'll drag it here. Oh my god, my bad. I'll make both of them one for now. And then I'll go here to lookup, and no, I'll go here to curve fit and replace these by these, and the next one as well. Yep. Just quickly changing these two numbers. Perfect. So what do you think will happen if I change anything here? Say 1.05. So it sort of applies a small factor and adjusts that accordingly, right? So this is a better way of doing it instead of playing with the actual slope, because the second you change your well, these will change as well. And we need to keep these intact. And that is why we are using a proxy or a temporary sort of a cell to hold the numbers that we need for a specific well. So let's sort of start by changing the factor for this. 1.05 looks too far. 1.02. If you guys are actually working with me along this, while I'm working on the first well, you guys can try other wells and let us know what you get for factors for those wells. All right, and now let me adjust my slope factor to 1.02, for example. Nope. 1, 0.9, 0.95. Oh my god. Okay. 0.9, 0.98. All right, so I feel that this one's better, right? So, and what we can do is create a new sort of column to hold these values. Well, So I'm just keeping this so that we can have, or we don't lose what we used for this particular well. So if I go to the next well, you will see the match. Oh, it's actually pretty good. But for now, I'll start from beginning. I'll make it this again, right? 1 and 1. And then what will happen is, there you go. So again, if you feel like the old adjustment worked, just put that in and move that, because I think this fits really good. So maybe go to the next one, well 3. This one I feel is also a really good fit, but let's see how we can make it better. So let's make it 1 and 1 for now, and let's reduce our slope for now. Okay, and then adjust our constant by a lot as well. Perfect. Okay, this looks much better. Okay, this looks much better, at least to me. If you guys have any other numbers that you would want to try, let me know. So this is a very quick and dirty way to sort of do a quick match. And if you guys sort of take a look, I am sort of ignoring the parts where there are a lot of movement, and that is because there might be some workovers and stuff which might have been doing which might have been on the well, and I'm sort of giving more preferences to places where the history is more stable, and the recent as well. So it sort of tells me what the well most likely will uh, or what the most likely trend would be for the well going forward as well. So this is how I'm doing it right now. So just give me a quick second. Make it 0. Yes. All right. Let's go to well 3. W, I think there was nothing in this one. So skip this one for now. This one is weird. Okay. This one's slightly tricky, but let's see how we can fix this one. I actually do like this. Let's make it slightly higher. Yeah, this works for me. Okay, before A. Okay, this one's interesting now. So let's make this one. So since the trend line that we have put in is actually taking everything into account, even from here, that is why it ended up seeing that at May of 1981, somewhere around May of 1981. I'm not really sure if data starts at May or not, because sometimes it adds additional month or date depending on your date, I should say, column. But so let's say May of 1981 for now. It started at 0, and what the trend line actually thinks is from here till 1990 it went up till here, but we know that there was nothing here, right? It started producing here. So the most tentative trend line that we'll have should be something like this. So let's work on fixing that. So first of all, we know that the slope will be negative, so let's see how negative can we get. And has to be negative as well. So let's make it -10, -100 for now, -25, -15, -10, -12. Okay, slope looks bad. -8, -8.5. Okay. All right, so right? So for me, as of now, this looks good. But again, if anyone else has any other number that they want to try, do let us know or put them in the chat. 4v5. Let's do the same. Let's start with 1 for now. All right. Yeah, I think this looks good to me, so I'll leave it at that for this one. Or maybe just adjust the constant of a little more. Oh, that's too much. Okay, let's do this. This automatically looks good to me. I'll put it somewhere here. B7. Oh, this is good. So I'll leave it as is. B8. Okay, so this one needs to be corrected because technically it should look something like this. So 5 minus 5, 10, 20. And just give me a quick second. Oh my God. Okay, slope looks good. We'll have to fine tune this for now. 33, say. Yeah, I'll say this is good. In an ideal scenario, we would fit a curve which would look something like this. Oh, sorry, something like this. But this is good for now. So and last is P9. Okay, why am I not able to click on that? Okay, same issue here. So let's start again. I think the closest one was this. So I'll reuse this for now and see how the match is. Okay, maybe the slope is too aggressive. The slope looks good. Okay, -4 is too low, -5. This looks good. 3.5, -4, -4.5, -3.25, -4. Right, this still is too aggressive. So let's see. Let's try -2.5. All right. Let's keep it as this for now. Oh, this was a tricky one. Is everyone here as of now? Can someone put it in the chat? Or do you guys have some separate numbers? Because these numbers that we have sort of just fitted right now are, well, these depend on person by person basis, right? Someone might think one fit is good versus someone else might think that it is not, and they might have their own picks. But this is one way of doing it. Okay. So now if everyone has this, right? One thing that we need to do next is, right, estimate production life of the well. Maybe we'll do that later. Let's say remaining reserves, or I should say producible reserves. So our producible reserves, so for now, let's say our cutoff is 10,000, right? So let's see how much these wells can produce until the year 2000. So just to sort of see that visually in the chart, we go back to lookup and we go here and we just add an if clause. So if all of this, copy this once, is greater than or equal to our cutoff, which is this cell, then we need the value, or we need 0, because, well, essentially that should not count, right? So essentially our well will stop producing here based on current cutoff. And the beauty about this, doing it like this, is you can change the cutoff anytime and see where your well will stop producing economically, right? Let's do this for now, and let's sort of cycle through our wells. Now, one interesting thing about the table that we made here is, now if you change your wells, all of these will change, right? Your matches will go awry. So the reason why I was making this table on the side was because we can look up the values now. So if I do a VLOOKUP, I do look up this for me. My table array is right here. My column indexes match my factor, and my lookup array is right here. There you go. So what this will do is, this will automatically sort of, if I change my well, it will automatically give me what I set as a best estimate, right, for that particular well. So that was the reason why we did it. So you can see for a couple of wells, 10,000 is too big of a limit. For a couple of other wells, 10,000 is not that big of a limit. So okay. So now if you were to calculate, say for example, how much this well will be producing. So estimated so we can estimate how much remaining, how much oil is there to produce by doing a simple thing, right? So we can do a quick sum, and if we don't want to use any hard and fast formulas like SUMIF, the easier way would be, we know that our forecast starts from 1995, right? So we sum up everything that we have after that, and that would be our cutoff, not cutoff, I should say, the remaining oil that the well can produce. Okay, so again, there are a couple of ways you can do this, right? First would be 3W. Do I have it there? Let me just add 3W for now. Okay. All right, and I'm just doing a quick check. Okay, all of my wells are here. So there are a couple of things I can do, right? So every time I change my cutoff, either I can go here individually and copy whatever I get here and paste it here. That is something that I can do. Or if you guys remember, we studied about loops yesterday, right? We can straight away open Visual Basic and write I should say, just give me a quick second. Which one are you working on? This one. And write a code. So I'll insert a module, and what I'll do is I'll write a very simple code of that simple code will do what that simple code will do is iterate over all of these, and then after for each of the wells, for example, after 5 it will go to 6, copy over whatever we get here to here, and then it will do the same for the next well. So let's do that. Compile oil, give it any name. So a couple of things that we need is say dim counter as integer. Anything else do we require? Let's do this. Worksheet. Okay. What is our sheet name for our source? Our source would be, well, yep, sources. All right, let's give it a quick run and see if this still works. Yep, it looks like it does. Next thing what we'll do is go down and we'll have to write a for counter is equals to, and our counter should go from 2 to 12. So since we don't need a step, we'll just say we'll not include that. But if you were to add a step or tell it how big your step needs to be, you write it like this. If I were to write 2 here, it will go from 2 to 4 to 8 to 6 to 8 to 10 to 12. Right now it will go from 2 to 3 and 3 to 4 like that. For next counter. All right, so now what we need to do, we need to write in source sheet, so in destination sheet actually, and we know which cell we need to put this into. Our cell is dot range B2. And if you guys remember, we can't use range straight away here because our numbers are going to change. So what we're going to do is write cells, and our row will keep of changing. So it will be counter, and this will be, just 1 second, I saw an error. And if you go back here, 1 2 3, third column is 3, right? So if we sort of run it now, it will only write the data here, but it will not copy data from here to here. So let's fix that. So another thing that we want to do in destination, and our range will keep changing, so we'll use cells again, right? So I'll just write it in next line just to make sure that we are not mixing stuff up, and we'll just count the number of columns we have. Just give me a quick second. Okay. T, right? So 20. Row will again start from 2, so that's good. Column is 20. This would be equal to our source range is K5. So this is done, and okay, let's do this now. So let's just put in a small shape here. For example, go to assign macro, go to compile oil. Oh, and yeah, just make sure that you select this workbook here, because if you have any other workbook with the macros open, it actually can refer to other workbooks. So just be careful about that. So I'll click on this now, and you see, right, how quick that was. Instead of me changing each well, clicking multiple times, I can straight away copy this over. And there's another thing I can do, right? I can do a quick sensitivity. And when I meant sensitivity is, I can say change it to 20,000 and see how our numbers change straight away. So not a lot of them changed. So I'll move them here again. So this one's for 20,000, 10,000, and this one is say for 30,000. Actually, I should move it here. That looks better. All right. So anyone has any questions as of now? Because we are almost nearing our end.
No, sir.
Okay. So one thing I'll sort of ask you to notice is when you have your cutoff at 10,000, what will happen is most of your wells are producing, some of them are not, but most of them are. But the second you increase the cutoff to say 20,000, two of your wells are not economical anymore, or you cannot produce from these two wells. So a very quick analysis like this is something that can be done. And again, there's another thing that we can do is just find out where these values actually hit their last limit. So if I were to ask you to do that, does anyone has any idea on how they can do it? So we need to find out when we are reaching close to our production limit, and that would be our last value here. Anyone wants to take a quick guess on how we can get, say, last date? Okay, so is there anything that you guys can see here which can help us determine the last date? Is there any change happening on the day the well stops producing?
Day is 0 after this.
Yep, they are 0, right? So if you do a lookup gives you first match, right? If you do a lookup on this column or do a index match on this column and then take value from the adjacent column, it will give you value against the 0, right? So yep, let's try and do that. So index, your array would be, say, this one. We need value from here. Then we'll go say right match, and our lookup value right now would be 0, right? So we don't need to put it to any cell, and our lookup array is this one straight away. Oh, my bad, this one. Oh, maybe I should change this to be, my bad. And our match type is, say, give me an exact match, and we have only one column in our index. So there you go. Let's see if this is correct or not. There you go. So this is how you sort of do it. And now if I were to say write this as last date, and I want to sort of create a copy again. So what I'll do is, for some reason the shortcut doesn't work in my personal PC, so I'm using this for now. I know it's column 21 and I know it's K6. So I'll save this. I'll go here and I'll run this again. Oh, my bad. So if you're getting an NA, that means the well will keep on sort of flowing throughout. If you're not, then well, then your well is not then your well is not going to produce after the range is finished, which is December 2000 here. So let's add another thing. If error, so then say our last date. Okay. I will click on this again. If I go here, change them to date, short date. Okay, let me add another thing. So goes to if this equals minimum of this for then give me error, else give me this. Let's see. Okay, perfect. So now it's working perfectly. So now if you change your cutoff, you will get your different values. I'll remove this for now. Get your different values and you will also get your corresponding dates. So there are some more things that you can do, but for now, I think this is enough. So do you guys have any questions? Because I guess we can stop here for today.
No, sir, I believe no.
All right. So I'll save this, and if you guys need, I'll send this file over to you. Maybe I'll send it right now in
Yes,
the chat.
sir.
Yep. So I guess over to you.
Okay, sir. That was a wonderful end to a wonderful workshop. Mr. Ashutosh Kujur, the students chapter would like to express their sincere gratitude to you for spending your valuable hours on training us and providing us with imperative information. We would have been lost without your guidance and quite possibly spent many days wondering how to properly process and analyze data. You have shown us that tools that we took for granted were far more useful than we had initially thought, right? Once again, great thanks to you. Our college is proud to have you as an alumni.
No problem. Thank you for sort of staying up throughout the sessions, I guess. And yeah, if you guys have any issues, feel free to connect with me offline.
Yes, sir, definitely will, sir.
All right. If that is all, have a good rest of your evening, and yeah, hope we'll meet sometime in future.
Yes,
Thank
sure,
you.
sir. Will do. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for this insightful session. And it was really nice to have you on the chapter to present your views. And I think the recording is available on YouTube channel. So in future, if there is some issue or if there is some confusion regarding something, so the participants can refer to it as well in future. Yes, so that's also.
Okay, all right. I'll just ask one thing from you, Raj. Can you forward me those recordings? I think one of my colleagues actually wanted those. So if you can link
sure,
them to
sir.
me on my mail
Yeah,
or my
definitely.
WhatsApp, that would be really helpful.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, I'll send all the links.
Okay, perfect. With that, thank you all. Have a good rest of your evening.